Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone's having a good weekend. This video I'm going to be doing my top 12 horror questions. I was nominated by Paul Tams and it was quite a while back, to be fair. I'm getting a little bit late to the party. But it's 12 questions all related to like horror films. So I've written some of mine down. So if you see me looking down, it's because I'm referring to that bullshit there. Paul Tams as well, I'll put a link down to his page below. Really cool guy, loads of regular content, really good stuff. Head over, give him a follow and support his channel. Right, okay, so without any further ado, first question is favourite slasher. Michael Myers is hands down my favourite slasher. Halloween is my all-time favourite horror movie. Plus, it's one of my all-time favourite movies of all time. I absolutely love Michael Myers. I can remember seeing Michael Myers for the first time when I was about 7 years old. There was it was really weird the way it was. There was like a little half-an-hour documentary on BBC Two, and then they played the movie, and I remember watching it and I remember being fixated, and from that moment it just instilled fear into me about this guy. It's just the realism of it for me. It's like a guy can put a mask on and start slinking around people's houses, creeping in back doors, standing in gardens, hiding in the entryways. Freddy, Chucky, Leatherface, all that sort of stuff, vampires, zombies, it didn't bother me. I could watch it till the sun came home when I was a little kid. But there was just something about Michael Myers, the way he lurked around, it freaked me out, even till I was way into my teens. Like, I remember I would be coming home from a night out and I'd hit some back lanes or some entryways and it would just come into my head and I'd just have to get a brisk jog on all the way home because I was scared of Michael Myers. So Michael Myers is my all-time favourite slasher. He is one scary dude. I've enjoyed pretty much all of the versions of Michael Myers. Obviously, Nick Castle's my favourite, and then we've got Tyler Mane in the new ones. He was really, really good, and James Dew Courtney is now following over. I really enjoyed him as well. Halloween 4, loved Halloween 4, hated The Mask, let the film down a little bit, to be fair. But yeah, Michael Myers, my all-time favourite slasher. Okay, worst sequel in a horror franchise. That for me is going to be Freddy's Dead. Like, some of the other Freddy's sequels are weak as well. I don't like MTV Freddy, where he's cracking jokes, wearing sunglasses, turning people into pizza. You know, it lost me, and it just took it into the realm of like appalling. Freddy's Dead, I hated that movie. There was just nothing I liked about it. I don't think I would ever revisit it. If I had to do like a Nightmare on Elm Street ranking, I'd be dubious whether I'd even go watch it. I'd just solely watch it for that. Really hated that movie, to be fair. And Nightmare on Elm Street is one of my all-time favourite horror movies. The first movie is, you know, sometimes I love that more than Halloween. I like debate the two, I really do. But yeah, that MTV bullshit, I'm not a fan of that one. The first one was dark, scary, he was evil, he was a creepy guy. I remember watching that also when I was very young. So I've been sort of following these characters all my life, really. But yeah, MTV Popcorn Freddy, not for me. Freddy's Dead, my worst sequel of all time. Right, okay. Next one is horror movie I wish people talked about more. And I'm going to go for Revenge from 2017. It's a French film, but the majority of the dialogue in it is actually English. So if you're not a fan of subtitles, don't be too put off by it. It's about this girl, Jennifer, who goes to like a desert retreat with her boyfriend, who we soon find out is actually married. So they go away for like a weekend of you can imagine what. She comes across as like the Love Island, the sort of party girl, the ditzy blonde or whatever. Two of his mates turn up early who were there for like a shooting weekend, and then things quickly take a sinister turn where she's like horrifically raped, and basically she's left for dead. Like, Richard, the guy that she's been seeing, he sides with his friends and they just get rid of her body, leave her for dead. And then she just sort of has like a change. She just goes the transition from ditzy blonde party girl to like absolute survival mode, and then she goes back to get revenge on these three horrible bastards, and she does it in some really, really good fashion. If you haven't seen this movie, I highly recommend you checking it out. It's on Shudder, I think. I picked up the box set from Zavvi, but it is a really, really good underrated film, which I don't think many people have seen. And yeah, some of the action in it's really good, and you're just rooting for it all the way. Like, the three guys are horrible, and by the end of the movie, you are like screaming at the telly for like her to like kick their asses. And I won't spoil any more of it for you, but check that one out. My best horror remake is going to be Maniac with Elijah Wood. I've got the 4K of the 1980s William Ludstick's version of Maniac, but the new Elijah Wood one is actually a really underrated remake. It's dark, violent, nasty movie. Elijah Wood plays a really strange, weird character in it. It's basically about this loner who, when he kills the women, he scalps them, and he has them on like mannequins. He's like a guy who like creates mannequins in his like studio. But yeah, the soundtrack to it's awesome. If you think like a more sinister sort of vibe as Drive, it reminded me a lot of the movie Drive. So if you like Drive and you like stuff like American Psycho, think of that sort of combined Silence of the Lambs type stuff. There's a really good nod to Silence of the Lambs in it as well. Some really good visual effects, some really good like kills. You know, it doesn't shy away from showing you what's going on. It's a really, really good remake. I'm not sure, I bought it online on Amazon. I just bought it for like £6, so I've got it on my Amazon account. It's quite expensive if you want to buy the Blu-ray. I think you have to get an import now, which I'll probably do. There's quite a few sets out, so I want to get a nice 4K of it. But yeah, great soundtrack, great movie, underrated remake is Maniac. Okay, a horror movie that didn't live up to the hype, that is easy for me, and that is Child's Play. I absolutely despised the new Child's Play. It looked like a Cabbage Patch doll. The voice was wrong, the look of it was wrong. When we went to the cinema to watch it, me and my mate were sitting there, and within 30 seconds of the film being on, it introduces you to like a sort of advert of these sort of dolls which can do all kinds of stuff. They can like control the house, you know, the lights, the blah blah blah, the TV, whatever. And the look of it, we just looked at each other and just burst out laughing. And I knew from that get-go that I wasn't going to enjoy it. I didn't feel like there was any redeeming features to that movie for me. I just generally disliked that movie. I've tried again to watch it since it came on Netflix, but I can't enjoy it. I just hated everything about that movie. I walked away from it like massively disappointed. If it ain't fixed, don't break it. Do you know what I mean? That type of thing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Rocky, get down, man. Sorry, my little dog's there. Stay down. Yeah, so Child's Play was a massive disappointment for me. Really hated that movie. It gets some love, to be fair, and I'm always wondering like how the hell it gets this amount of love. It's beyond me. It was, for me, a shocking movie. Right, next up is favourite horror animal. That's easy for me, and that's Jaws. I absolutely love Jaws. It's one of my favourite movies. Hang on a minute, guys. Get down. Yeah, Jaws is one of the best movies for me. Creature movies. I absolutely love the movie. And I always sort of find something new that I enjoy in the movie each time I watch it. I've recently picked up the 4K, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. It's like viewing one of your favourite movies for the first time again. It's a really, really great story, great film, great characters. I've just recently finished the book as well, and it's one of those rare occasions where I think the film is better than the book. I didn't really enjoy the book that much. It goes off on a massive tangent about a load of adultery with Brody's wife and Matt Hooper. For a book about a shark, there is very little shark action in it. But yet, I think Steven Spielberg picked the best elements of the book and just added it into a great film. And I absolutely love Jaws. That's why Jaws is my favourite horror animal. Right, favourite horror book that's not a Stephen King book. I love Stephen King, he's one of my favourite horror writers, but I also have read quite a few other horror books. So I'm going to do a couple here. I'm going to say the first one is Off Season by Jack Ketchum, and that is sort of like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre style Wrong Turn type book about these like crazies that live in like the forest and the woods. So if you like stuff like Wrong Turn, The Hills Have Eyes, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you'll really like this book. It's about a woman who goes away for a retreat and she gets like stalked and harassed by these people, and they're awful people. It takes it into like really dark, nasty territory. So if you like them gruesome, bloody, violent, you'll love Off Season by Jack Ketchum. My next one is American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. This one is a good book. If you enjoy reading, you will like this book. He's got a strange writing style that won't be to everybody's taste. Like, they will literally spend like 3 or 4 pages describing like every single item in a room. I mean, every detail, like to everything in the room. Like every single person that he meets in the book, they will describe from head to toe exactly what they are wearing. And I mean every single person, they will tell you exactly what he's wearing, from his tie to his socks to his shoes. And that is, it's so descriptive all the way through the book. I've read it twice now. I enjoyed it more on the second time, and I was losing my train of thoughts with it the first time because I didn't really understand the way it was, the way that he wanted me to read it. But the second time round, I sort of got the gist of the book a lot more and enjoyed it a lot more. Sorry, Rocky's just digging around on the floor. Yeah, so it's American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. The next one is Enter Night by Michael Rowe. If you enjoy stuff like Fright Night or something like Salem's Lot, I think you'll really enjoy this one. It's a really good book about I enjoy the ones about the vampires in the small towns. Sorry guys, I'll just have to get rid of him for a minute. He's doing my nutting. There you go. Yeah, so it's Michael Rowe and it's Enter Night. And basically it's about this drifter that goes to this town, and it's got the same sort of flavours as Salem's Lot, stuff like that. It's really good. Really sort of like, I like the vampires in the town sort of feel. I really enjoy that sort of stuff. Salem's Lot's my favourite Stephen King book. So if you like stuff like that, I don't want to go into too much detail about Enter Night, because it's one of them ones that if you enjoy vampire novels and enjoy stuff like Fright Night, Salem's Lot, Lost Boys, you'll enjoy this one. Okay, the next one is Best Fire Stunts in a Movie. Some of these I felt like I was going to duplicate with Paul's list, because I do feel like the best horror stunt is Nightmare on Elm Street, where Freddy is set on fire when he comes back to the real world, and he like falls down the stairs and tumbles down the stairs and then comes back up the stairs and falls down again. Like, I've watched the Never Sleep Again documentary, and you know, they talk about the stunt being really good on that. But I'm also going to say, I don't know whether it's, I presume it's CGI, but I thought the fire scene on Hereditary at the end, that was pretty good, to be fair. That was one of the best in recent memories. And there's a real shock value to it. Yeah, really sort of scary fire scene. I don't think it's done with practical effects. Practical effects. I think it's done with CGI, but I thought that was a really impressive fire scene in a horror movie, to be fair. Okay, the next one. Horror movie that I feel only I enjoy. This one was actually pretty difficult. I like some of the more obscure like Italian horror films, like zombie flesh eaters and stuff like that. I'm gonna say it's maybe The Blob, solely for the fact that I don't think many people have seen it, because you can't get it over here in England. It's a difficult one to get hold of. It's a really good movie with really good practical effects as well. Scream while there's still room to breathe. In a tiny California town, high school students Brian, Kevin Dillon and Meg Shawnee Smith from Saw and Paul Donovan Leitch Jr. from Glory discover an unusual gelatinous substance with the ability to remove flesh off any living creature in its path. The deadly blob-like matter infiltrates the town sewer system and continues to grow, exponentially threatening the lives of the unsuspecting townspeople. I love stuff that's set in like these American towns, where, you know, it starts off, everything's all sort of rosy, and then the town has to get together, they're getting attacked, and then you're introduced to your heroes, and then you follow them as they are trying to make their way through the town and survive from the blob or whatever else is in their way. But yeah, the blob's really good. The practical effects on this are amazing, but it is a difficult one to get. You have to import it. It's not on any sort of streaming sites, not that I'm aware of. I did try to get it off a streaming site before, but it didn't have it on them. I couldn't even buy it off Amazon Prime. But you know, if you get the opportunity to watch this and you do like stuff like small town being taken over by stuff, or you know, that sort of American generic sort of thing, check out The Blob. Really good. Favourite horror creature. This was another one that I was toying with a few different things, and I'm going to go with the Predator. I've always loved the Predator. He's a highly intelligent beast as well. It's not like, I do like the xenomorphs, but they're just like sort of like mad animals that just go crazy. There's no intelligence really with a xenomorph. They're more like anything they see, anything that moves, they will kill. You know, obviously they are intelligent in the way that they can like stalk and stuff like that, but they don't have the intelligence level of the Predator. You know, he's like a crazy humanoid, loads of cool weaponry that he uses. You know, he's got his cloaking device, he stalks, and I love the fact that he wants to sort of challenge himself. They want to be the best of the best, so they will put themselves into like dangerous situations to prove that they are like the best hunters, the best killers, and I really love the Predator, so that is my favourite creature. Okay, horror movie that I didn't think I'd like, but I ended up loving. This was quite a recent one for me, and it's going to be Mandy. When I saw the trailer for Mandy, I was like, oh, another Nicolas Cage, because Nicolas Cage has got like a bad habit of just knocking out loads of shit. Like him and De Niro, they have really good movies and then they'll just knock out loads of crap. So he's been going through a bit of a stage of knocking out quite a lot of crap at the moment. So I was like, oh, is this going to be another one of his? And I watched it first time and I was like, okay, you've sort of piqued my interest. So I bought it recently on Blu-ray and watched it, and I've watched it twice again now, and I love the movie. Like the tone of it, the soundtrack, everything about the movie. It's so dark and like hypnotic. It's like a dream. You know, it puts you in a sort of dreamy state watching the movie. I thought it was shot really well, filmed it, you know, the locations that they used as well, a lot of it was filmed in like Sweden and that, but they were like making it sort of like the Colorado mountains or whatever. I thought it was really, really good, like really like psychedelic, trippy movie, but I really enjoyed that movie. I was surprised. I didn't think I was going to like it that much, and I absolutely love that movie now. It's a great movie, and if you haven't checked it out, and it's great to see Nicolas Cage back on form as like Cage Rage. Like he goes fucking A1 crazy in this movie. You know, at one point he's like fucking snorting mountains of cocaine and just like taking down all these weird demonic fucking demons with this huge big massive axe thing. He goes crazy. If you love all that crazy like 80s style gore, over the top action type thing, you're going to love this movie. It's really way out there, but if you go into it with an open mind and you enjoy those type of movies, I think you'll have a great time with this one. Okay, last question is most memorable horror ending. Right, the first one that springs to mind for me is the pickup truck scene from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where the girl's running off. I think it's Sally is running away. She's tired as hell. She's been through hell. She's been jumping out of windows. Toby Hooper's been filming her for like the last 2 weeks non-stop. She just wants to go home. She wants to go back to her house and see her family and finish up and have nothing to do with this fucking movie anymore. So she's being chased by Leatherface down the highway, and she rolls herself onto the back of a pickup truck and she's like screaming at the guy to drive away. So she like gets away and she just like screams. But I watched the special features and it was like the last scene that they shot for the movie, and she knew it was going to be the last scene in the movie, and she was so tired and drawn out from this movie that she just sort of screams in elation as well. She's like screaming with like she's happy that the movie's over because she doesn't want to have anything to do with this fucking film anymore. But it's a really sort of iconic scene, and it's the first one that springs to mind. Another one that comes to mind as well as an honourable mention is the ending scene of the movie The Mist. Like, that was a harrowing film. Spoiler warning, if you haven't seen The Mist, I'm going to talk a little bit about what happens at the end of that movie. So basically, the mist is taking over the town, making people do crazy shit. Everyone's dying. They're all gone to the ship. And Thomas Jane's character is with his family and some of the other survivors in a truck, and they all sort of commit suicide. Like, he kills his kid and the other ones commit suicide. And just as he's about to kill himself, the sort of mist settles, and then the army just roll past his car. And I think, if I remember correctly, one of the people at the very start of the movie says they're going to go and get the army, and he's like, no, don't go, you're going to get killed. And they are on one of the army trucks, and they look down and see him, and he's just sat there. He's had to kill his own child, I think it is, and some of the other survivors have all just killed themselves, and he was about to top himself, and then it all sort of clears away, and the army have come to save the day. And it was one hell of a harrowing ending, to be fair. If you do want to pick up The Mist as well, it was supposed to be shot and filmed in black and white, so you get two options to watch it, one in black and white and one in colour. The director's preferred version of the movie is the black and white one, so I've only watched it once, and I watched it in the black and white version, to be fair. But yeah, so they are my 12 questions and my 12 answers. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Bit of technical issues with my man Rocky. He's sulking in the corner now because he wanted to be in the video, but he hasn't been paying no rent recently, so he ain't getting in no video with me. I'll take him out for a walk shortly, cheer him up. But yeah, so I'm going to add a couple of people in the comments who I'd like to see theirs. I want to see the Sinister Arts. I want to see Tony's questions and answers. Maybe him and his missus, they do videos together, so maybe they can do it together. That'd be pretty interesting, pretty cool. I'd like to see that. So I'll add a couple of people at the bottom. But yeah, cheers. I know this is a little bit of a long-winded video, but I hope you've enjoyed it. A few questions, I had a little chat with you. Give us a thumbs up, give us a sub if you enjoy what you see. I'll bring you some more content soon. So yeah, hope everyone has a nice weekend. Hope everyone enjoys the football over the weekend as well. Come on, England. Nice morale boost for the country. But yeah, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.